Good morning, my name is Jackson Dietrich, and I will be discussing today my component identification lab on my 2015 Kia Forte LX. Here's the car in question. Coming on the inside, we have the VIN number and the manufacturing date right there, December 2014. Here's my OBD port I have my little code reader plugged into. There we go. My fuel pump is located underneath this seat. Popping open the hood, this is a 1.8 liter naturally aspirated Hyundai motor. Has 4 cylinders, displacement of 1.8 liters. According to the diagram, you have the fuel pump here. It's a 15 amp. For here, I can verify my fuel pump does work. The fuel filter for this vehicle is inside of the fuel tank. Back here is the ECM. It has a couple fuses. 2 of them are located inside of here. The other part of them, the other part is located inside. It is actually an internal fuse. As you can see where my finger is pointing, that is the Ect module. That's where the throttle position sensor is located. Inside of the throttle, it is a standard butterfly valve driven not by a throttle cable, but just simply communication through the CAN bus system and through the drive-by-wire. Where I have my finger is the intake air temperature sensor. Where I have both of my fingers right here, you have the intake cam position sensor and then the exhaust cam position sensor. The camshaft position sensor is all the way down here underneath where my finger is. Because of where I'm located, I cannot get a great picture of it, but assuredly it is right there next to the oil filter. I will try to include a photo of it in my video that I'll turn in. The accelerator pedal position sensor, part of it, it's way up above there. I cannot reach up there, but it is above the pedal in the center of the dashboard. I am demonstrating the fuel injectors, which this vehicle has a multi-port fuel injection. And up here you have both of your O2 sensors, so the upstream down there and way back behind there. Try to put my finger on it. It's right down here on the other side of the cat. The sensor right there is the manifold map sensor right there. Overall, I thank you for listening to this lab sheet. My car is kind of small, but at least some of the stuff is easy to get to. So thank you and have a nice day. Hi, my name is Jackson Dietrich, and we are pinning the DLC connector. You can see I have my multimeter right there, reading 00. I am grounding to pin 4, or pin 5 actually, and you can see I am pinning the different ports. So here I should have close to battery voltage, but my battery's currently running down because I've had the key on for a while. But I'm just pinning out the different voltages around the DLC. And kill it.
The AUT scan tool here, just to run a quick diagnostic test. If you have an engine light or something like that on, you can go to diagnostics and then just click on the auto scan, and it runs through everything from engine, ABS, transmission control module. It runs through all of your monitor systems and lets you know whether there's faults or it passes. Hey guys, so here we're going to go through some different functions on the scan tool. Obviously after you plugged in the scan tool and auto scanned and it went through all the diagnostic tests and through all the modules to check for codes and faults, you can manually go through the data yourself by going to control unit, clicking on whichever system you would like to take a look at. For this we can go to engine, and then you can see stuff like ECU information. It'll tell you what kind of software you have installed if you ever need that to go ahead and recalibrate it or anything of that nature. If you go back, you can see the trouble codes that were listed during the scan, and then also you can go to live data to monitor everything as far as like battery voltage to, you know, fuel trims to what each component is actually doing, whether it's turned on at the moment or turned off, and I'll show you that here in a second. So here it literally goes through every system that it's monitoring and shows you what it's doing right now. So you got battery voltage, your target idle RPM, intake manifold pressure, water temperature voltage, water temperature itself, and you can scroll through and monitor all these different systems right here on the AUT scan tool.
Do you want to rev the engine a little bit so we can see the RPM change
Yeah,
on
let me
that
get
screen?
to the. So here we got RPM sitting right there. You can go ahead and rev it up and it shows the actual engine speed right here.
So for a little live test on this 2015 Kia Forte 6-speed manual, we are going to be pulling this upstream O2 sensor and seeing what the looks like on the PID reading on the live data. So stay tuned. So you can see here that we have our reading over here at the upstream O2 sensor, 1.92. Once he pulls that connector, you will see it change and plug it back in. Once he plugs it back in, you'll see that number change back up to a 2.1. So minuscule change, but we can see that that does affect it. So as you can see, we have O2 sensor codes, bank 1, sensor 1, which is what we unplugged. We have a pending code because it's unplugged currently, and we have a history code. There's nothing on my dash that says, you know, that we're getting a code, but according to the scan tool, there is a code. So what we are going to do is we'll plug it back in, we'll clear the codes, and we'll finish up. So here we are testing our O2 sensor circuit, see how many volts we're getting. You can see we have 2.5, which is accurate, coming out of the off the PID, off the live data. We're grounded, and you can see kind of behind his hand right there. Here we are getting that signal coming off of it. In this picture, I will show you the different connectors that the ECU uses on my Kia Forte. You can see that all these are labeled, so and I will go into the pictures later on about which label and what number goes to which function, so it's easy if you had to pin them out or look for voltage at certain levels at different points in the ECU. In these next photos, what I'll be showing you is the different variables and numbers that we could get from these pictures. These pictures show where the ECU connects to, you know, the oxygen sensor and all the different values it could receive. The other picture shows where it connects to a relay and shows, you know, in what parameters these relays operate.